guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Faith. I'm writing an adult literary fiction novel. Today's video is not about that novel. Today we are talking about some bad shows slash movies I've watched. Really why I'm making this video is because I want to talk about a million little things, but I just put a couple of a show and a couple of movies that I don't like in the mix, just so it can be just more of a coherent, video, and just not like coherent. What am I talking about? Okay, but like, so it's just not me just bashing a million little things and just like having nothing else and just like doing it, and it's like that's low-key why I made this video. So it's like, if you want to just watch that, which I would highly recommend because my rant will be ranting, you can skip till you see me talking about a million little things, but for now we'll talk about the other show and two movies that I also disliked. And so yeah, this is mainly just going to be a million little things hating video, but like, let's talk about the other things I do hate. And I was also just like making a recent watches video, and the reason why I made this video too is because I wanted to talk about a million little things and just like other shows and movies I've also disliked. And though in this video I might be a little bit like, I don't know, not remembering as much as I need to about each show slash movie, just like, it doesn't matter because it's just like, it's mainly to talk about just like things I've watched in the past that I just haven't talked about ever, and I just want to talk about it now. And yeah, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Insecure. Insecure is a show about, actually I won't even be discussing what the show or whatever is about. Potentially I will, actually no, let's talk about what it's about. So Insecure is about this person who her and her boyfriend break up. They've been dating for a while, and basically she has her adventures, blah blah blah. I don't really care, obviously. So basically in this show, the reason why I don't like it is because I just don't like this brand of shows where it's just like, we have this main character who's just dating everyone. And it's just like, I have no problems with people dating everyone. I just don't care. Like, I do not care about, just like when it just goes from person to person to person, I start to get bored and I just stop liking watching the show, because it's just like, I know you're going to ruin the thing. I know, or the other person's going to ruin it. I know just exactly how it's going to go. I'm just not connected to any of your partners. I'm just like, I'm bored. I'd rather it be intentional, like, I don't know, a polyamory situation I would be okay with, whatever. I just tend to just not like dating shows because I just want to keep the main character, and I tend to be a person who likes in-depth things and just like watching a character. And it's like, I feel like when it comes to these shows, we get less about the person's life and just like, we see the main character dating them, but like, we don't get like a little in-depth like what's happening in their we don't get like anything about their life, and I just wish that we did. And because we don't, I just tend to not like dating shows, and this was just like a brand of show that is still popular right now, and I just, every time I see it, I just avoid it. It's just like a thing. It's nothing to do with the show. There's other shows. I just feel like the reason why this is on the list is because I got farther into the show, and then eventually I was just like, I don't want to watch the next episode. I don't want to watch the next episode. I don't want to watch the next episode. So I never did. So there's that. Okay, next we have Barbie. Barbie is a show about, a movie, whatever. I feel like I just watched it because you guys constantly were like, oh my gosh, Barbie is so good. It wasn't really. It was just a basic movie. I don't know what else to say. The plot line was basic. I would rather just like watch a movie, a Disney movie, because like, I don't know, I feel like, or just like something else than this. It was just like, it was basic, I guess, feminism. Was it feminism? I guess, whatever. It was all right. It was just like, it was all right. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it was all right. And people were just like so obsessed with it, so I finished the movie. I should not have finished it. I was watching it during like my plane ride to Nigeria, or back from Nigeria, I don't remember, that I did like last summer. and it just wasn't something I liked. So I just kind of was like, I'll never talk about you, but like, whatever. Just like, you guys overhyped it. There, and it's just like, what can I point out as like the problem with the movie? I don't think I can point out anything. I just think it was basic. I think that you guys were overhyping it. I think that you guys were just like, you guys do this thing, and with the next movie, I'm also going to be talking about the same thing, how you guys just like overhype just like these movies for no reason, and then it's just like, I feel the need to watch it, and then I watch it, and then I realize like, this is why I don't take show recommendations or movie recommendations from you guys, because like, I have a very particular type in these things. I'll talk more about like what my type in movies are, and like after I talk about the next movie, but like, this just wasn't my type of movie. Then we have Bottoms. Bottoms, this was really the biggest disappointment of just like whatever year I watched it in. It was a disappointment. Basically, in my opinion, it was just really weird. Like, and just like, I get that was the point. I just didn't like it. I was just like, guys, what the, like, you guys were hyping up this movie. Like, the movie was not good. Like, Aya or Debris, or I need to look at her name again, but like, whatever. I liked her, and I'm glad that I watched that movie, because it did lead me to watching The Bear. But the movie itself was not good. It wasn't. You guys were overhyping it, and it was just weird. Just like, they were just making facial expressions. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me not, because then people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was the point. That was the point. That was the point. It's like, I don't care. That was the point. It was not fun. It was not. It was nothing. First off, it wasn't fun. Second off, it was just. If your argument is like, it was just like a very important movie, it's just like, no, it wasn't. It was just basic or whatever. And if your point is it was entertaining, it was not entertaining for me. So there was just nothing I gained from watching that movie. And like, let's talk about more movies that I'm more into. I'm more into just like movies about people's lives. Yeah. Because like, I want to watch like Oppenheimer, and I've also watched Hidden Figures. Like, that's just like more my type of movie, just like things about that. And if I'm gonna go for like a fun movie, then I tend to go to kids movies where it's just like Disney cartoon, where it's just like, I'm gonna start bawling like at the end of Encanto, Coco, what else? That dinosaur or whatever, oh, those fish things, mermaid guys thing or whatever. Oh, Luca. What else? Obviously all the princess movies. I'd rather cry than anything else, because like, whatever, that's what I'm in a movie to do. I just find that when movies try to be silly, it just doesn't work, because I feel like it works more for a show than a movie, because I feel like shows, at least there's some sort of lore to it, and it's not just like, I wasted my time, if that makes sense. Blah, blah. Hopefully that makes sense. Whatever. Then the next thing we have is the show I wanted to talk about. Now that I talked about those other things really fastly, and just like, you can tell that I just wanted to talk about this one, a million little things, and why I hated it. And I was like, bro, if there is no video that I'm going to talk about how much I hated this show, I'm going to make a video about how much I hated the show and whatever. So while I'm talking about the show, I'm going to reference a lot of the but This Is Us. I don't think I'm going to be sharing spoilers for This Is Us, but like, I might accidentally here and there, but not really any spoilers. Actually, yeah, no, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but like, I'm just going to be referencing This Is Us a lot, so whatever. Okay. This show actually just makes me so mad. It's just like, bro, I'm making a whole video on it, and that's for a reason. Okay, so first we have, should we go like by character, just lay it out there for each character? I think so. I think that is what we're gonna do. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's start off with, and okay, I'm going to talk about each character, and then I'm going to talk about overall why I hated it. Okay, so basically we have that white girl with the haircut. She's French. I think she had curly hair, whatever. she wasn't a girl, she was older, but whatever, not older. Okay, she was just like middle-aged or something. A parent, one of the parents, she cheated on her husband with Eddie. Yeah, I was gonna say that fine guy, but yeah, she was annoying. Whatever, there's nothing much to say about her. She did that. Then we have let's talk about, what's his name again? Eddie, the fine guy. He's attractive. He was cool or whatever. He was an alcoholic. He did cheat on his wife with whatever that French girl's name is, which was annoying. He's an alcoholic. Yeah, that's all I have to say about him. There's really nothing to say. Then let's talk about Rome. Rome is the reason why I hate this show, because I always go for these shows because of the black character. Like, the black character is basically like, that's how you pull me in. So it's like, bro, if the black character isn't interesting, I simply won't watch it. So basically, let's talk about just like all the things wrong with Rome. Okay, first off, every time he had some sort of problem, one of his friends outdid him in the problem. Like, okay, so basically the first thing that happened was he was about to kill himself, but then, okay, I don't know if I can say that, whatever, I'm just gonna say it directly as it is. But then what's called, his friend did before him, and then he just couldn't, and it's like, guys, what? Like, let this man have something, but whatever. So that happened. Then there was the point where, he couldn't adopt this baby because, like, the mother decided that, she wanted the baby, and then what happened was, what was it? What happened after that? I think either Eddie got in a car. No, I think it was that Eddie had a car crash or something, and then he broke his legs, like he was almost died. And it was like, bro, give this man something. What else happened? His mother died, and while that was happening, this random guy thought he was the son of the guy who initially killed himself, and so then the wife of the person who, what are these people's names? I don't know. That white guy. There's two white guys. Actually, no. The father. Let's call him the father. So like they thought that he was the father of the, yeah, whatever. So then the wife of the father was like, oh my gosh, at least he cheated too. Yay. Like, not yay, but like, you know what I mean? Maybe that kind of just like is better for just like what I did or whatever. So there was that, and it's just, so yeah, so then he just came back, and it's just like, he overruled that, and then just like, every time he had something bad happen, just like someone else would have something worse happen, and it was just like, he couldn't enjoy his bad times, and it just like made him just like not an interesting character, because now we're focusing on the other character, and it's like, bro, let him have something, and let everyone wallow with him, whatever. Then we talk about Gary. Gary was the only good thing that came from the show. Gary, what happened with Gary? Gary was like an actual good friend, to the guy who died. He was hating on Eddie, which annoyed me when Rome was like all over, the guy. I feel like I'm just saying the guy, this, right? But when, it annoyed me when Rome was all over, Rome was trying to bring Eddie and Gary together, because like, it's like, bro, wait, no, Gary had every right to be mad. Gary actually liked his friend, the one who died. He actually had he was a good friend. He was a good friend. He was like, bro, why would you do that to your own best friend? And he's like, yeah, I was on Gary's side this whole time, because like, Gary had a complete valid reason, and then Rome was just in the middle, and it was like, bro, shut up, Rome. So there's that. Yeah, and Gary also had this dating life or whatever with the girl with cancer, and he also had cancer, which, okay, this is a spoiler, but he ends up dying, and once I realized that, I said no. Okay, plus another spoiler is that the Eddie ends up back with the French girl. I said, bro, I was starting to like him with the Asian girl. Yeah, I was starting to like him with her, because like, I liked that. And then when I found out that apparently that's not going to happen anymore, I was like, bro, what? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's because he became an alcoholic again, or he started taking pills or whatever again. Um, but it's just like, whatever. Okay, let's talk about overall the show and just like, I guess why I didn't like, I feel like I was gonna rant for way longer than this. Now this is just gonna be like a 20-minute video or something that just gets released for basically no reason, but whatever. I'm still talking about it because I want to talk about it. So yeah. Oh yeah, plus, oh yeah, no. Okay, yeah. The biggest thing, okay, now let's talk about overall things and why these are overall things. Okay, and this is gonna be more of my This Is Us a million little things comparison. Okay, why I watched a million little things is because it sounded a lot like this called This Is Us, and I liked that. So this show is very issue oriented, just like This Is Us is. So it's just it's fine. The problem is these characters are not interesting enough to be issue oriented characters without it just like being annoying or whatever. Yeah, it's just like not good enough to be that, because like the characters just like each have their issues. Like Rome is depressed, Gary had cancer, whatever, that Eddie has an alcohol problem, whatever, the French girl lost her husband, Rome's wife was sexually assaulted, the other cancer person that Gary is dating, brother died, I think, and she's responsible for that or something, whatever. And it's just like these people are just so just like their problems are very much like like, you know how people talk about issue books and it's like issue oriented, just like television, where it's like everyone has an issue that they cover, and it's just like these characters were not interesting enough. Like when it came to This Is Us, it was so much better because like though what is it, let's compare Randall and Rome because that's their comparable whatever. They're both black. That's their only similarity, but like whatever. Randall actually had problems. Randall was a character. He was very smart. He was adopted. He was black. He was just like the responsible person, and it's just like he had this personality and just like everything just like intertwined. It was like a very well mixed bowl of soup. He was an amazing character. He actually had, what is it, problems, and he made problems. He was a character that was worth it, just like everything. Like he was just an interesting character. He had problems. He felt like a real character. He just like he was an interesting person. But then let's talk about Rome, who was a flat character. Rome, he makes movies or whatever. He, what else, is depressed. Oh yeah, Randall had anxiety, and his representation actually ate down. And just like I felt like everything, it mixed well with Randall. But then he's just like movies, depressed. He's black, so like his parents' relationship with his mental health, and not gonna like the acting. The acting wasn't good. The acting was not good when it came to Rome. Randall, on the other hand, he was acting like his life depended on it. I'm telling you, rent was due, and he was ready. Like he was not going to live on the streets. He knew what he was doing. Rome, on the other hand, I don't know. He wasn't trying, whatever. So basically, and I feel like also it was just like the script or whatever, because like, bro, be so for all. Like, he didn't feel like a real character. He was just like, he was there, he did his thing. He wasn't very complex. The only argument he had in the show was like with his wife or something, Regina. Was it like that or something about what was it? It was about the baby or whatever, and just like how he wanted to adopt another baby and he was mad at her for not doing it with him. That was the only argument. Like when I tell you, but Randall, on the other hand, Randall was out here just like, he wait, what was it? He adopt a kid? No. No. Without her permission? Was that the thing? Let me think. No. Wait. Okay, he would leave bringing people into the house without the wife's permission. And it was constantly like, oh, that man was kind of evil. Like, I mean, obviously, I love Randall, but like, yeah, he actually just like did things. He made mistakes and he actually made them instead of just like him being this ultimately just like amazing character. Like, yeah, I could see why you could hate him. Like, I feel like the characters in This Is Us, you could hate all of them, and there were reasons to hate all of them, but there was also reasons to love them. When on the other hand, there was a million little things where they just weren't complex characters. They were just like they had their things. It was very issue oriented. Like, why do I know the issues of every single character? Like, when I say issue show or whatever, I'm talking about like real life things that we talk about, just like mental health, whatever, like these issues that we have in real life. And it was just like these types of shows, they turn these issues into people. But I think that this show turned those issues into people rather than having these issues be people, but also just like having these characters deal with these issues, but also having these characters be characters. That is what I think a million little things did wrong. Is there anything else that I hate about the show? Oh, okay, sorry. That was just my thing of okay. This thing just makes me so mad. When a main character is a writer, I hate when shows or books, whatever, have a writer main character because I feel like they always do this thing where the writer writes about their life. And that's what Rome was doing. And I was like, bro, I do not. I feel like, I don't know if in the TV world people just write about their lives, but I just feel like that is much, like the way that people talk about people doing that, it's annoying because it's like, I want to know what show your main character is writing because I think that it shows a lot about who your main character is, and I think that would be very interesting. But they're like, oh no, let me just do it about our lives, and I feel like it's lazy. I feel like the reason why it's done like that is because they don't want to make a whole other piece of media. But it's like, if you're going to make a writer, you might as well make that whole other piece of media, because at this point I do not want the main character writing about their lives because it just makes them feel like they're not doing anything. And that's a part of the reason why Rome did not have a personality, because if he was writing an actual like film that was about something else, then maybe it would have been good. But no, it was about what's called his life, and it was just like, what was it? Yeah, that's my opinion on when TV shows or movies have a character that writes about their life. I just think it's lazy. I think it's the laziest thing a person can do, and I think that they're just doing it for a lazy reason, and it just makes the main character just like feel like they don't have a personality, and I feel like that contributed as to why the main character did not have a personality. Then let's talk about Regina, whatever her. Uh, I was interested in like when the show was talking about how people who are not in the situation of having the mental health struggle but their partner is, I was interested in that, but I feel like it was discussed, but it didn't go as well as I wanted it to. I think that's what I'm saying about it. I don't know, I just feel like this is a whole rant about little things. Like, at this point, if you don't like this show, then it's like this probably won't get as many video views, but I decided I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to. So yeah, I'm a little thing, let me think. Yeah, just like, I thought that was gonna be interesting, but it didn't give anything because it was just her going like, oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me, blah blah blah. And I feel like it's just like, it's much more than that. I think I wanted to see the worrying. I wanted to see just like everything that comes with just like having a partner who just like loving someone who struggles with their mental health. Like, I wanted that, but I feel like it wasn't discussed because obviously every time they had a struggle, of course the show wanted to struggle on someone else, and I just feel like whatever. Then another thing, I feel like Rome was really what I hated about the show, but it's like Rome is the only reason why I was there, so it's like, bro, whatever. So another thing I hated was the fact that Rome is the smart character, and he surrounds himself. Wait, let me think. he's this rich black character, but he did the same thing as all the rich black people do in every single show, where it's like, bro, they surround themselves by white people. It's just like, where's your other black friend or whatever? Like, I don't know. And it's just like, at a certain point, I just have to look at you and be like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it when shows do that, because it's just like, guys, like, I know you have black friends. I know you do. And if you don't, then that's okay. I personally won't watch the show, because, like, bro, what? I don't want to hear your voice. Because, like, I feel like when it came to Randall, and I feel like he did marry Regina, but I feel like him marrying Regina was just, like, more on the side of the, I don't know, producers. Wait, let me think about, yeah, because I feel like when it came to Randall, it's always Randall. Randall was my favorite character ever. Randall honestly honestly reshaped the way I write, reshaped just like everything about me. Like, I love Randall. Randall was the best character to ever be written, and usually I cannot be looking at the side of my hair. Okay, let me just and let me just. Sometimes I be like, see the speck of my hair, I'm like, bro, what? Like, did I not try? Whatever. So yeah. Okay, let me turn forward so I don't have to look at that. Okay. I feel like when it came to Randall was seeking out black people, and he was put in a circumstance that could have made him hate black people, but he didn't, because he, unlike most media where it's just like the black person starts to hate black people and just starts surrounding themselves by white people, I feel like I don't know, Randall played on that trope, and it's like, there was no reason for him to be playing on that trope when it could have been an even split, and if the media was evenly split, I would have been better with that. But like, it's just the fact that there was this whole era where it was just like black people surrounding themselves by white people, because they basically hate black people because they're rich or they're smart or whatever. And I feel like Randall did a better job at that, but then Rome just did the same thing as all other media did, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, actually, no, yeah, I agree with that, because like, Randall, he adopted a black girl. Randall, he did surround himself by black people. Like, the only white people he was surrounded by was people at his work and his family. But like, other than that, he did, like, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to just like those things, he surrounded himself by black people. And I really love that in media, and I think that just like is so fulfilling, no, not fulfilling, just like, I think it's great to see versus Rome, who doesn't do that. I don't even think Rome has any other friends but like Gary and Eddie, and it's like, but Gary and Eddie aren't even really his friends. He just sits in the middle and he just interrupts them, and it's just like, bro, leave them to do their adult things. Then there was also the whole, his relationship with his dad or whatever, because his dad doesn't believe in mental health or whatever, though he probably struggles with mental health issues or whatever. Yeah, there's that. I feel like there was an era where people were talking about black people and mental health, and just like how parents don't do that. And I feel like after watching, I feel like another reason why A Million Little Things did not work for me is the fact that it was just like, it was so in its time. I feel like A Million Little Things, just like, a lot of media was coming out about the same thing, and it just like followed suit with the rest of everything. And it's just like that whole like black people and mental health thing, and it's just like, yeah, sure, I do agree with that, but like, at a certain point, it's just like, I don't know, it was an era that I would rather not go back to, and like, I would rather not just like watch media about it, because it's just like, there was no way for the parent to, like, the parent would just be like, oh my gosh, mental health doesn't exist. Then their child would be like, yes it does, yes it does. And it's like, there's no outcome to it. And even if there is an outcome, like, they're like, oh, I see the true meaning that mental health exists. And it's just like, it was an era, it was not a good era in my opinion, but like, it existed, and it just, I can't fault it on that. Then let's also talk about Rome's mental health representation. So there is a bunch of mental health representation. There's Randall. Randall. I'm probably gonna put a little picture of Randall here. Probably running. I love Randall. I love him so much. There's his anxiety. So in his anxiety, he also is a very smart person. And just the fact that I like low key, another book that I'm like the second book I want to write soon. It's not based on Randall, obviously not. No. But like just like the whole smart has anxiety thing. Whatever. That's just like that. Well, obviously that's not like the same thing, but it's just like I just feel like they should be just more reading on that, where it's like his anxiety felt so ingrained into the person he is. Like, of course he's just like this person who's so obsessed with getting everything right and just having this, and then he has panic attacks, and it just feels so right. It feels like everything that his character is, it just makes sense because it's just like it's all one thing. But then, and then also when it comes to Marcus from what is it, Ginny and Georgia, he was great representation. He's depressed. He talks about what it feels like to be depressed, and like he talks about it in a way that just feels right. Then also when it comes to Euphoria, when he has his when she has her dialogue about what it feels like to be depressed, it makes so much sense. It's so relatable. When Jerome did it, he was like, oh my gosh, life is just so suffocating. So okay, let me not say that, just like whatever. But it was like his face when he was talking about his, I'm not gonna lie, that thing was so funny. Like I'd be watching it, I was just like like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Rome just annoyed me with that, all that things that he did, because I was like, bro, you know for a full-on fact, you shouldn't, like, why are you explaining it like that? It's just like, he had the worst way to explain it, and I thought that it wasn't good. It wasn't good. He needed to be put somewhere, and it was not on this show. So there's that. Then there was, who else? Gary was the best thing. He actually cared about the friendships. He was also friends with the okay, let's talk about the children, I guess. I call her Dawn. Her name is not Dawn, because from Ricky Dicky and Dawn. But the child of the French girl, she's cool or whatever. She ends up being, I guess, sexually assaulted, and I feel like that's why I just stopped watching the show. I'm so sorry. Once I realized how many, just like, this was just an issue show where it was just like, bro, they just, each person has the issue, and they just like, it's the same issue over and over again, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. But like initially what was happening was that she hates her mother because like her mother was an evil, like, she cheated on her dad, and her dad was like a great person or whatever. So like whatever stuff, she was so mad about that. And I feel like she had every right to be mad because like, bro, that was evil. Then there was the little brother. The little brother, he was gay. See what I mean about this show? Where it's just like each character has this thing that they have, but it's just like so, just like they felt like characters, and I'm fine with characters. Is it characters? Yeah, characters. Like they feel like such characters of, wait, no, not characters. Characters is like an over exaggerated like character. No, they felt like what was it? Archetypes. Actually, is it character? Were there over exaggerated versions of what they were trying to represent in real life? Maybe. Let's call them archetypes. Like each character was such an archetype, and though in, again, let's talk about the other characters in This Is Us. Okay, so let's talk about like just like what every character was. So and when I say every character, I mean like the three main characters, because I don't care about the other people. So basically we had Randall. Randall was the smart character, and but he also had other things. He had anxiety that felt very integral to his just like being adopted. Yes, he was also adopted, like these three things, and it felt very integral. Like it felt like very intertwined with him being adopted and him being smart. And then his being adopted, his being smart felt like a very much consequence of him being adopted, because I feel like he was almost over performing to just like be in this family and whatever. And it's like it felt like it all matched, like all the problems in the thing matched to the point where he felt like a character. Sorry, my parents are talking, whatever, don't think too deeply into that. Anyways, then there was Katie, or no, not Katie, Kate. Kate, she deals with body image issues. Just like she hates her mother. Uh, she sings. Let's not talk about this. Actually, yeah. See what I mean? It's just like it all intertwined because, like, first off, she deals with body image issues, and then she hates her mother, and the reason why she hates her mother is because of these body image issues, and just like how her mom was everything she wanted to be, but she couldn't be. And then also the singing industry is just like very image oriented, and just like, so obviously the body image issues were just so connected to it. And she was the older sister, like she felt like the sister that kept everyone together, and it's just like it made sense. It made sense. Like everything felt like it built on each other, and every issue that was there felt like it made sense because it all was a consequence of just like everything together. Just like all three of the issues, just it made sense. Then we had what was his name? Kevin. And Kevin was just like this very attractive guy. He was dating everyone in the moon. He had this alcohol problem, and it made sense to his character. Like, and he was obsessed with his dad, so his dad like also had alcohol problems, so like that made sense. And then he was attractive, and obviously he had a bunch of people that he was dating, and it made sense. It made sense. Like it all connected, and it made sense. They were characters that it just felt like every issue together just made sense, and it all just made them such real characters, and I just love that. But then we come to a million little things, and they're such issue characters. Like, they each just have an issue. As I talked about how Regina, there was a sexually assaulted thing, Rome was depression, Gary cancer, and Eddie alcohol, and it's just it was just like their issues defined them in a million little things, while in what's called wait, This Is Us, their issues were a part of who they were and not just like who they are, if that makes sense. Like, it was just like their issues were a part of who they are. Like, we have issues that we all struggle with, but that is not who we are as a person. That is just like a part of us, and I feel like that's what This Is Us did, and that's why they felt like more realistic characters, while A Million Little Things, they were their issue, and I didn't like that. And this video has been going on for 40 minutes. I probably will cut off a lot of this video because like my mom came up here to talk to me or whatever. But yeah, I just feel like I hated A Million Little Things. I hated it, and I can't say anything more than I was a hater, and I'm a hater today, I'm a hater tomorrow, I'll be a hater. And I watched a lot of this show, and that's why I'm such a big hater. I feel like I don't hate on things if I didn't watch much of it, because when it comes to TV shows and movies, I tend to be just a person who picks them up, and if I don't like it, I just stop watching it eventually. Like no. I stop watching things with quickness. Like, if I don't like something, I will leave like this. Like, there is nothing that will make me stay. So when it comes to movies, that shows that I hate, it means that I finished it, or I watched it enough to the point where I just feel like I wasted my time. And because of that, I'm more angry at the show / movie, even though it's technically my fault. But like, I just tend to not have the show / movies that I hate, because like I tend to not continue watching things I hate, because like I have common sense, and I'm just like, okay, if I don't like it, then I stopped watching it. But I think that's just like a good end to this video. Yeah. Oh, no. You know what? Let me talk about that one another thing. There was this also just like this whole house selling thing from little things. That's not really important. It was something, it should have been there. It was just a random show that, and I feel like just the main characters do not feel like they mesh together. I feel like I'm even watching Queen Sugar, and the characters mesh together. Like, they feel like they need to be together, because like the show needs them together, because like they are very intertwined. But I feel like, I don't know, when it came to A Million Little Things, I feel like the characters didn't feed on each other. Like, Rome did not feel like a part of that friendship. Rome was kind of just there. Same with Regina. They were just there. I feel like they were put in there to have a black character, and they just said, who's the most least important person in the show, and then they put that character there and they just said black character, there we go. And it's like, I'm not standing for that. I will never stand for the black character being uninteresting. So there's that. So yeah, this is the end of the video. This is longer than I expected because I was supposed to just talk about it for a little bit, but like I talked about it for longer than I expected because of course I hate this show. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm probably not gonna have like a video like this again because I'm making more just like videos that are just like every 3 months. I talk about just like recent watches, and so if you want to hear my thoughts about just like other things, I'll have the recent watch of just like my last time thing below, and also just like I'll have more recent watch videos in general if you want to watch that, if you like hearing my opinions on shows. If you don't, then whoopsies. Which actually, if you got to the end of this video, you probably like my opinions. So, or you don't like my opinions, but you like hearing me talk. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, do whatever. I also post writing content that you can watch, and I also post reading content that you can watch. When it comes to reading and when it comes to reading specifically, I tend to post less hateful reviews on it because like because I don't know, I'm trying to be an author and I just feel like, I don't know, whatever. So I tend to not do that. But like, if you want to hear more just like me hating on a show or whatever, or hating on some media, then you can watch more of my just like things, my updates on just like what I've been watching. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. As I said, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.